For counting down the days to retirement, you're definitely not alone. For many of us, leaving behind the daily grind of the 9-to-5 lifestyle feels like reaching the ultimate finish line. Retirement means freedom. Freedom to wake up when you want, travel more, spend time with loved ones, or finally pursue your passions. But here's the catch. While you might feel ready to retire, is your wallet ready too? Studies have shown that a surprising number of people retire with less than $10,000 in savings. Scary, right? That's why it's so important to take a few critical steps before saying goodbye to your working days. Retirement isn't just about leaving your job. It's about making sure you're financially secure enough to enjoy the retirement life you've envisioned. And trust me, it's not just about the money either. Before you take the plunge and celebrate your retirement party, it's time to make a plan. And don't worry, I've got you covered. This video is going to walk you through the top 13 things you absolutely need to do before retiring, so you can avoid financial stress and live the retirement of your dreams. Let's start planning your ultimate golden years together. Point 1. Plan, and then plan some more. Alright, here's the deal. Retirement doesn't just magically work out. Wake up call, people. The first and most important thing you need to do is sit down and create a plan. No excuses, no delays. Grab a notebook, open a spreadsheet, or find an app. The form isn't important, but the content absolutely is. The moment you decide you want to retire, that's the moment you need to start planning for it. Ask yourself this now. When do you want to retire? Is it in 10 years? 5 years? Next year? Knowing your timeline is everything because it determines what kind of foundation you'll need. Thinking about spending your retirement lounging on a sunny beach or taking that dream RV road trip across the country? This is where it all starts. List out your retirement goals. Not vague ideas, but specific ones. And here's a bonus tip to make this easier for future you. Break your retirement plan into chunks. Lay out what you need to do today, next year, and 10 years from now. Not only does this make your dream more attainable, but it's also your ticket to what could be the greatest vacation of your life. Think less stress, more freedom. But hold up. I'm not saying there won't be bumps along the way. It's going to take work, and you might have to tweak things as life throws its curveballs. Your plan doesn't have to suck all the fun out of your life right now either. Make it flexible, make it manageable, but above all else, make it happen. Every year that rolls by without a proper plan shaves more off your comfort level in retirement. If you haven't started yet, what are you waiting for? This is your future here, and no one else is going to figure it out for you. Seriously, if there's one thing you take from this video, it's the power of a plan. Do it, and watch your retirement dreams come alive. Point 2. Know exactly where your retirement income will come from. We've all heard that retirement is the time to relax, but here's the harsh truth that no one talks about enough. If you don't know exactly where your income will come from, retirement will feel the furthest thing from relaxing. Scary, right? That's why point number 2 is non-negotiable. You need a crystal clear picture of how you're going to pay for your life when the paychecks stop rolling in. Start by listing all your income sources. And I'm not just talking about the obvious ones like Social Security. Yes, you'll likely rely on that, but will it be enough? Spoiler alert, for most people, it isn't. That's why you need to go deeper. Think guaranteed income like pensions or annuities. If you're lucky enough to have those, great. But for most of us, a big chunk of retirement income will come from what we've saved. Dive into your savings accounts, like your 401k, IRAs, or even taxable investment accounts. Do you know how and when you'll start drawing from them? If not, you have a gap in your plan that could cost you dearly. And hey, don't forget about those sneaky taxes. Do you know how your Social Security benefits will be taxed? Did you even know they can be taxed? Yeah, it's not fun, but knowing now means you can plan effectively. You even need to consider withdrawing from certain accounts first to minimize how much Uncle Sam takes. If this sounds complicated, that's because it is. But guess what? You have time to figure it out. Call up your financial planner or CPA and hammer this out together. And if you don't have a financial planner yet, now's the time to get one. Here's the urgency though. If you get to retirement without this clarity, you're setting yourself up for stress, frustration, and a very unstable financial future. Don't wait until you're 65 to figure out where your income is coming from. Start now so future you can focus on enjoying life, not cutting coupons just to make ends meet. Point 3. Avoid lifestyle inflation like the plague. This one might sting a little, but we need to have a real talk about lifestyle inflation. You know what I mean. That slow creep where every time you earn a little more, you spend a little more. Suddenly you're driving a fancier car, buying pricier gadgets, and taking more extravagant trips, all while telling yourself you deserve it. Look, I'm not here to guilt trip you, but if you keep living beyond your previous means, retirement will slip through your fingers faster than you think. Here's why this matters right now. For most people, The years before retirement are their peak earning years. It's tempting to cash in on that added income by upgrading every area of your life. Stop. You need to treat these years like an opportunity to turbocharge your savings, not blow them on luxuries you don't need. Think of it this way. Every dollar you save while you're still working is one less dollar you'll have to worry about in retirement. And if retiring early is part of your plan, this step is even more crucial. You can't fund an early retirement without serious discipline today. Yes, it's all about choices. Would you rather drive a brand new car every 3 years or have an extra 5 years of financial freedom? No one is asking you to live like a monk, but keeping your spending in check is a game changer. Create a budget and commit to it. Not a flimsy one you'll ignore, but a real honest-to-goodness budget. Cut back on the unnecessary stuff and find joy in simpler, less expensive ways. Keeping your current expenses low leaves so much more room for savings. Here's the hard truth. The better you control your spending now, the less likely you are to outlive your money later. If you hate the idea of trading in luxuries for simplicity, think of it as buying long-term comfort for short-term restraint. I promise you, when you hit your retirement goals, you won't regret skipping those frivolous expenses today. Point 4. Educate yourself on Medicare before it's too late. Okay, real talk. Healthcare in retirement is no joke, and Medicare isn't as simple as slapping a card in your wallet and going about your life. Far from it. If you think Medicare will magically solve all your healthcare worries, think again. The more you know now, the better you'll be at navigating this maze when you need it most. Trust me, waiting until you're 65 is not an option. Here's what you need to know right off the bat. Medicare is not free, and it doesn't cover everything. Shocker, right? You'll have to pay premiums, and there are significant gaps in coverage. For example, long-term care is not included, which means you need a backup plan for nursing home stays or assisted living. Start by understanding the different parts of Medicare. Part A, Part B, Part D. What do they all mean? It's confusing at the start, but once you break it down, it becomes manageable. On top of that, you'll need to know the costs for premiums, deductibles, and co-pays. These things add up quickly, and the last thing you want is to be blindsided. Open enrollment is also a big deal. Miss this window, and you could be stuck paying more, or worse, denied the coverage you actually need. And by the way, don't assume every doctor or specialist you see today will take Medicare. Some don't. These are things you need to verify well before you retire. If all of this sounds like a lot, it's because it is, but think of it this way. The more you educate yourself now, the less panic you'll feel when you have to use it. On top of that, consider investing in long-term care insurance to help offset those sky-high costs for extended care down the road. Point 5. Assess your personal savings now. Here's a little wake-up call for you. Seeing a big fat number in your retirement account doesn't automatically mean you're set for life. Seriously, don't fall into the trap of thinking, oh, I've got $500,000 saved. I'm good to go. Spoiler alert, you might not be. Here's why. Your savings isn't just a pile of cash for you to spend whenever you like. You'll need to turn that lump sum into income that's sustainable for as long as you live. Enter the infamous 4% rule. If you follow this generally accepted guideline, you can only withdraw about 4% of your total savings each year without the risk of running out of money. At $500,000, that's roughly $20,000 a year. Adjust for inflation, and suddenly that figure doesn't seem so comforting. And that's just your savings. You'll need to factor in other income streams like Social Security, rental properties, or maybe even part-time work. But don't stop there. Dig deeper into what each number in your financial plan actually means. Look beyond your account balance and focus on how far it'll stretch in your day-to-day life. For example, how much of your savings will be eaten up by housing costs, medical bills, or inflation? Here's the urgency, folks. The longer you delay assessing your savings, the less time you'll have to make adjustments. Need more funds? You might have to work longer than you expected, or figure out a strategy to invest part of your savings for higher returns. Don't just glance at your savings statement and pat yourself on the back. Do the math, break it down, make it real. And one more thing, having a larger savings buffer also buys you time. Time to make decisions, time to respond to surprises, and time to figure out ways to grow your nest egg further. If you haven't assessed your personal savings yet, pause this video, grab those numbers, and start crunching them. Trust me, this step will define how comfortable your retirement really is. Point 6. Apply for every tax break you qualify for. All right, retirees, you may have spent your working years complaining about taxes, but here's the good news. Once you hit retirement, a lot of states start rolling out the red carpet with tax relief programs. But here's the catch. That tax relief doesn't just appear in your mailbox. You have to apply for it. This is point 6. and it's all about taking advantage of reduced real property tax programs. Here's the deal. Many states offer property tax exemptions or reductions for seniors. But here's the sad reality. Every year, thousands of retirees miss out on these benefits simply because they didn't know about them or didn't bother to apply. Don't leave money on the table when you don't have to. Property taxes can be a silent killer for your budget. You could be living in your dream home, but if you can't swing the tax payments, you could be forced out. It happens all the time. A shocking number of retirees lose their homes every year because of unpaid property taxes. Sometimes we're talking amounts under $1,000. Yes, you heard me, just $1,000 could be all it takes to ruin your golden years. You're probably wondering, where do I even start? Easy. Look up property tax relief programs in your state or local county government. Every state is different, but most programs offer reductions based on your age, income, or even disability status. Some places even allow you to defer your property taxes until you sell your home. But don't wait around. These applications often have strict deadlines, and some programs require you to reapply every year. Procrastination here could cost you big time, and even if you think you don't qualify, double check. The rules are more lenient than you might assume, especially if you're on a fixed income. Bottom line, if you qualify for reduced property taxes and you're not taking advantage of it, you're throwing money out the window. Take action today. Tax relief isn't automatic, it's something you have to go get. Be proactive and protect your monthly cash flow. Point 7. Map out a bulletproof retirement budget. Retirement budgeting isn't your average run-of-the-mill budget plan. This one's critical, and trust me, you cannot afford to skip it. Here's what you need to know. Once you're no longer collecting a regular paycheck, your expenses are going to shift. Some will go down, others might spike unexpectedly. That's why mapping out a personalized retirement budget is one of the smartest moves you can make before you finally clock out for the last time. First, take stock of how your spending will likely change. Will you save money on commuting, work clothes, or daily lunches in the office cafeteria? Sure thing, but here's the flip side. You'll probably be spending more on leisure, and why wouldn't you? You'll have plenty of free time to travel, take up hobbies, or wine and dine your way through life's finer experiences. And don't even get me started on healthcare costs, because those are going to rise as you age. The key is planning for both predictable and unpredictable expenses. Create a budget that reflects all the ways your spending habits might evolve after you retire. Don't just wing it. Account for housing, groceries, entertainment, healthcare, and some wiggle room for emergencies. Pro tip? Don't forget inflation. Every year, prices increase, and if your budget doesn't account for that, you could run into trouble down the line. Now, here's where it gets real. Will your savings plus your income streams actually cover that budget? If the math doesn't work out, you've got two choices. 1. Either boost your savings now by cutting back on current expenses, or 2. Reconsider your timeline for retirement. Whatever decision you make, don't guess. Run the numbers over and over again until it all adds up. Your retirement budget isn't set in stone either. Life happens. Things change. Even after you retire, revisit your budget regularly to make adjustments. What you set today may not work 5 years from now, but without a starting point, you'll be flying blind. Get that budget sorted ASAP. Point 8. Eliminate high-interest debt before it's too late. Here's the cold hard truth, folks. Debt is retirement's worst enemy, especially high-interest debt, which can absolutely shred your budget to pieces if you're not careful. Think about it. If you're living off a fixed income and you're also shelling out hundreds or thousands of dollars in interest payments, how long do you think your nest egg will last? This is why Point 8 is all about tackling that debt now, before it's too late. Here's what I mean by high-interest debt. Credit cards, personal loans, even payday loans if that applies to you. These types of debt often come with shockingly high interest rates, sometimes upwards of 20%. If you're stuck making only the minimum payments, you're essentially flushing your money down the drain. This isn't just a financial drag, it's a direct threat to your retirement dreams. But wait, there's more. One kind of debt people often overlook is student loan debt. Yes, even retirees can still be on the hook for these payments. And guess what? If you have outstanding student loans, the government can actually garnish your Social Security benefits. That's right, the checks you were counting on could shrink before they even reach your bank account. Here's your action plan. Start by listing out all your debts, along with their interest rates. Focus on paying off the highest-rated debts first. That's called the avalanche method. If you're tackling multiple debts, consider consolidating them into a lower-interest loan. And above all, stop adding to the pile. Cut up those credit cards if you have to. Don't wait until retirement to deal with this. High-interest debt doesn't just disappear when you stop working. It follows you, and trust me, it doesn't care that you're retired. Every dollar you use to pay off debt now is a dollar you can use to fund your retirement later. Don't put off the hard work. You'll thank yourself every step of the way. Point 9. Develop a winning strategy for claiming Social Security. Social Security might very well become a lifeline for your retirement. But here's the shocking truth. Not everyone gets it right. A mind-blowing 96% of Americans are claiming Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Yes, that's like walking away from $3.4 trillion of collective retirement income, or losing out on $111,000 per household. Don't be a part of that statistic. The age you file for Social Security plays a massive role in your benefits. File too early and you could see them reduced. Delay, and you'll get a well-deserved boost. The golden rule? Know your full retirement age, usually somewhere between 66 and 67, depending on your birth year. If you file at that age, you receive your full benefits. But here's the kicker. For every year you delay beyond your full retirement age, up to 70, your payments increase. Think about it. Higher monthly checks for the rest of your life. On the flip side, if you claim early, like at 62, your benefits will shrink. Yes, you'll get the money sooner, but over time that reduction really adds up. Now here's where strategy comes into play. Do you need that boost in cash flow immediately upon retirement? Or can you afford to wait? Analyze your budget and factor in other sources of income. If you've got enough saved, delaying benefits might be a wise move. And don't ignore taxes. That's right, your Social Security benefits could be taxed depending on how much income you bring in from other streams. Make sure you understand how this impacts you. Don't treat this decision lightly. It's not one size fits all, and timing here can be the defining factor in whether you have enough to coast through retirement comfortably or struggle later on. Run the numbers, consult a financial advisor if you must, and claim when it makes the most sense for you. Remember, this is about maximizing the income you've worked a lifetime to earn. Point 10. Decide what you'll do with your time before it's too late. Retirement sounds like paradise, doesn't it? Unlimited free time, no alarm clocks, no bosses breathing down your neck. But here's the reality nobody talks about. The transition to retirement can hit you harder than you expect. Imagine waking up with nowhere specific to go and no clear purpose for your day. It sounds relaxing, but for many, it quickly leads to boredom, loneliness, or even depression. You need a plan for how you'll spend your days. Without one, you could feel like you've lost your identity. Start by asking yourself these vital questions. What's going to get you out of bed each morning? What will give you something to look forward to? It could be hobbies, activities, or even part-time work. But don't just think about what sounds fun. Think long-term and think practical. For example, if you dream of golfing every week or spending months traveling the world, take a hard look at your budget. Can your savings support those dreams, or will you have to scale things back? And don't make the mistake of assuming life stays the same forever. Retirement comes in stages. The early years might be full of active pursuits, but as you age, your physical abilities and priorities could shift. Be realistic. Maybe you spend your first decade of retirement ticking items off your bucket list. Then, later, you focus on activities that are more affordable and fulfilling, like mentoring or starting a new hobby. One of the best ways to thrive in retirement is to stay connected. Humans are social creatures. Join classes, participate in local meetups, or take on meaningful volunteer work. These connections can help fill the void left when you no longer have coworkers or a daily routine. And hey, why not turn a hobby into a business? Selling handmade crafts, teaching online courses, or consulting can bring in extra income and keep you engaged. The bottom line is this: you've worked hard to get here. But if you don't plan how to fill your time, retirement could feel less like freedom and more like frustration. Don't wait until it's too late. Design your perfect retirement lifestyle now, so you can transition smoothly into this exciting new chapter. Point 11. Coordinate timing with your partner to avoid unnecessary stress. If you've got a spouse, figuring out your retirement timing isn't just about you. This is a team effort. Poor timing when it comes to retiring together can lead to a lot of unnecessary stress. Retirement isn't just a financial change. It completely transforms your daily lives, your routines, and even your relationship dynamics. This is too important to wing it. First, take some time to discuss how each of you envisions retirement. Do you both want to call it quits at the same time and immediately start checking off those bucket list vacations? Or is one of you planning to keep working a little longer while the other steps into full retirement? While retiring together can sound dreamy, keeping at least one income flowing for a few extra years might take significant pressure off your savings. Delaying one person's retirement can also help preserve crucial benefits, like employer-provided health coverage. And speaking of health benefits, Don't underestimate how vital they are, especially before you both qualify for Medicare at age 65. If one of you retires while the other is still working, that ongoing employer-provided medical coverage could save you tens of thousands of dollars in premiums and out-of-pocket costs. Health insurance is one area where early retirement can get extremely tricky, so be sure to map this out carefully. Beyond money, another factor to think about is how you'll spend your time together. If one person retires and suddenly has extra hours while the other is still working, it can cause tension and mismatched expectations. The retired partner might feel isolated, while the working partner could feel burdened with supporting the household. To avoid conflict, create a plan to keep things fair and exciting for both of you during this transition period. Maybe staggered retirement makes the most sense overall. Retirement is a huge adjustment, and having the right timing can play a big role in how smoothly this transition goes for both you and your partner. Talk openly, plan strategically, and don't hesitate to seek professional advice if you're unsure about your options. Remember, you're navigating this new chapter as a team, and teamwork is the key to a happier, stress-free retirement. Point 12. Consolidate financial accounts to simplify your future. Do you know where all your money is? Like, really know? Retirement is no time for a financial scavenger hunt. Having accounts scattered all over the place can create unnecessary stress and make it much harder to keep track of your investments, income, and spending. Now is the time to simplify. Consolidating your financial accounts might feel tedious now, but it will save you years of headaches later. Here's what this means in plain terms. Over the course of your career, you've probably opened multiple 401ks, IRAs, investment accounts, and bank accounts. Maybe you didn't close out that old 401k from your first job, or you've been juggling multiple brokerage accounts. Having your money spread out like this makes managing your retirement income incredibly complicated. What if you lose track of an account? What if you forget to withdraw required minimum distributions when the time comes? The penalties for mistakes like these can be harsh, and you don't want to deal with that hassle in retirement. By consolidating all your accounts under one roof, you'll gain better visibility into your financial picture. You'll only have to deal with one statement, one login, one set of investment options. It simplifies cash flow tracking and makes it much easier to calculate how much you can safely draw each year. Plus, if you ever want to hire a financial advisor, consolidating your accounts makes their job easier too, which means they can give you better advice. But before you rush into combining accounts, here's a word of caution. Some types of consolidation, like selling stocks or moving mutual funds, could trigger significant taxes. You need to understand the tax implications of consolidating before making any moves. Talk to a tax specialist or financial planner to ensure you're not accidentally creating a tax bomb. Streamlining your accounts isn't just about organization, it's about giving yourself peace of mind in retirement. With less clutter and more control over your finances, you'll find it easier to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Take the time to assess where your assets are today and make a plan to consolidate them smartly, ensuring your retirement stays as stress-free as possible.